Auto. All online. Let's see here. YouTube and Twitch. There we go. Hey. Here we are. I can still receive messages. So the chat's working. Okay, that seems to be working. It's gonna be chill. Stick with the chill music. Hey, let's get warming up, shall we? Some doodles going, get warmed up, loosen up. Got a design thing I want to do today's stream, so warmed up. Dynamic shot. Excuse me, disgusting. Hey, Robot Dave Maggie, hello, welcome. I've missed anything, still in the warm-up stage. Oops. Sorry, hope I'm not disturbing anyone. Absolutely. For that. Ah, I see. Well, like I say, you haven't missed anything. You wizard. Neat. A gold. Now, how specifically like is this wizard? Is he an actual bee, or is he just a guy who likes bees? Does he use bee magic, or is he actually a bee? If he is actually a bee, then yes, that's probably a little bit harder. Okay. Now here I thought it was kind of like something random that your kids might have asked you for. Okay, yeah. If you said you had to design a bee wizard, then okay, that's that I will consent is a hell of a lot more difficult. Because when you're designing something, people actually do care. Whew. Tell you what, I'll be glad when the week is over. After tomorrow, holidays start. Put in some proper relaxation. Yesterday wasn't so bad. I'll say that much. Being home all day, not having to go anywhere or do anything. That wasn't so bad. But no, the week in general, yeah, not so great. Doodle. Yeah, you have my sympathies. Anyway, what can you do? Well, trick is that you know, we both have some knowledge of setups. You infinitely more so. Whereas you are the only one of us who has any knowledge of IT. I know I've now been taught setup things, and that's but anyway, I'm going to be doing some designing of my own for this stream, because I got a new game, a new solo play tabletop game. I keep moving my camera around until I actually stay in frame in a comfortable position. But yeah, a great little game called Anyone Can Wear the Mask, and it's a superhero tabletop game, and it's usually for the 3 players, but you can play it solo. And it's basically a whole hero story arc. It's designed so that the hero does always win, because good guys always win. It's sort of like how the hero gets to win, obviously. Because you read a comic book, you tend to put some stock in the fact that the hero is going to win, particularly in the more traditional comics. So it's all about how the hero gets there, and it encourages you to make a hero for the game, but it doesn't really have any sort of character creation system. It just sort of says, okay, you're a hero. You get your powers from science or magic or somewhere else. Like, what scale of a hero are you? It doesn't actually ask you. There's no sort of like actual mechanics for powers in any sense. So it's very freeform and very open. But because of that, it does encourage you to use other superhero systems to come up with your hero's powers and such. I want to give this thing a bit of a play, not tonight, because a game like that can take anywhere between 2 to 6 hours, and I just do not have the time or energy for that tonight. But I'll probably do it in my own time and upload it as a video rather than a stream. And so I'm gonna roll up a character to use with this game. Anyone Can Wear the Mask. But I'm going to be using the Mutants and Masterminds system. Because with Mutants and Masterminds, it comes with a bunch of tables in the handbook Can't show you because it's a PDF, but it's got a whole bunch of random tables on it to basically make a quick start hero. And using this quick start hero generator, I'm going to come up with a superhero use for this game, and it'll be completely random. Now let's find out. I don't really have any way to roll my dice invisibility, so you're just going to have to take my word for it that what I roll is what I roll. And I'll take notes. I'm going to take notes because as I'm rolling up this character, I'm then going to design the character. I'm going to draw the character as we get more and more information about them. So there's 20 different archetypes that I could roll. It does say roll once, but I figured just to give us a fair chance and see if we get any other cool stuff, I'm going to roll 3 times. We'll get 3 different archetypes to pick from to narrow down the choices. So I've got here. I've got 3 20-sided dice. I'm gonna roll these, and we'll see which archetypes we get. Okay, well, we've got quite the ways in this spectrum. So we got a 1, we got a 20, and we got an 18. So that gives us a choice of pursuit, warrior, or weather controller. That's interesting. So I can have someone who's a bit like Iron Man. I can have someone who's like Storm from the X-Men, or maybe Wolverine. Warrior is kind of like a Wolverine. It's I don't know which one to pick. What's opinions? Which one should we go for? I mean, whichever one we don't pick, I can probably like make NPCs out of. But shall we have a Iron Man, Storm, or Wolverine, basically? That's fine. There we go. In favor of Iron Man. Fair enough. Okay, so let's do a battlesuit character then. Well, personality is going to be even also like randomly determined. This is more for the powers than the personality. Let's see. You think Wolverine might be better? Okay, do that. Again, obviously these are more, like I say, for power sets rather than personality, so we don't know just yet. Guy may turn out like not even anywhere close to Wolverine. So let's find out what kind of warrior we're working with here. We're going to use the warrior archetype. Make a note of that there. So they are pretty tough in a fight. And now there's a bunch of other tables in the book that we go down to determine stuff. And again, 20 rolls to figure out what sort of abilities they have. So the first choice is to find out whether this is a human character or an otherworldly character. So they could be an altered human, or they could be they could be an alien or a mythical character. So let's roll for that. It's a 5, so they're going to be an altered human. This is looking more like Wolverine. Third human. So, like genetically enhanced, they could be a mutant. We don't know. But, yeah, with those kind of stats, they're not as strong as they could be, but they are still pretty strong. Got good fighting skills. Let's let's see. Let's get a background advantage. They've got different things. Most of the stats here aren't going to mean anything in regards to the game. This is just sort of my way of getting some points about the character that don't really mean anything in terms of gameplay for the game I'm going to use this for. So let's roll for the background. They have a mysterious past. Oh, jeez. This is turning out to be straight up Wolverine, isn't it? Okay. Mysterious past. So they've got a mysterious past. What kind of combat do they use? Grappler. So they're a close range fighter. They like that's again we're getting grappler. Okay. And then they've got some skills. Naturally, they're athletic, they're acrobatic, they've got good perception. What other skills do they have? Let's see. And cultured. Yeah, okay. I suppose that also fits Wolverine. That's cultured because he knows Japanese history. Okay, so here's the power set. And I swear, if I roll and he's got a healing factor, I'm going to start over, because grief. Let's see here. Powers. Okay, Tactical Mastermind. It's not a healing factor, so... Mastermind. And combat power. Let's see what kind of combat power. 5. Beastly strength. Okay. So that's our... Well, that pretty much sums him up. So we've got... He's an altered human with a mysterious past, close combat, cultured, mastermind, beastly strength. I don't know. He's sounding... I don't know, he sounds a little too generic for me. I don't know. Any thoughts? He's sounding a little bit generic of a character. Because all we really got here is a guy who can fight really well. Doesn't really have a lot of interesting abilities. I mean, that could make him an interesting character. Like, he doesn't necessarily need amazing powers to be a hero. I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna roll again. I'm gonna try at least one other character, because, like I said, this guy feeling a little generic to me. I'm not really feeling anything singing out of him or her. Be her. I don't know. They're not really speaking to me all that much, to be honest. Let's roll again. Let's find another character. So once again, we're gonna roll three 20-sided dice. We'll pick another 3 archetypes. See if anything cool comes out of it. Let's see. Okay, let's have a look here. Scrolling back up. Here we go. Okay, so got a 6, which is a gadgeteer. Gadgeteers are kind of cool. A speedster. Speedster is also cool. Or a supernatural creature. A supernatural creature is like either a vampire, or a werewolf, or a demon. I'm thinking more of a traditional style hero, so I think it's got to be either gadgeteer or speedster. And I kind of like the idea of a gadgeteer. Gadgeteers have a lot of variety to them. So I'm not going to say speedsters are boring, but only so much you can do with super speed as power, I think. Although now I'll get crucified for that because the Flash is awesome, so I'm not gonna press the issue. Speedsters are also cool, but I'm gonna try for a gadgeteer. Let's try out a gadgeteer instead. Okay, gadgeteer. Here we go. So let's wipe away our generic warrior here. Sorry, you're too much like Wolverine. Let's try something. Hopefully more variety. I mean, there were other options in there. We could have had a completely different kind of warrior. I will say, if he'd been like an otherworldly warrior, like an alien, that could have been more interesting. But it was not to be. So let's try out this gadgeteer instead. So, first choice for the gadgeteer. Is there gadgeteers here? And he's a scientist. We're gonna scientist gadgeteer. Okay. Again, here, scientist. Cool. At the heart, you're a scientist. You always work on something in the lab, but you like to get out in the field and test practical application. And that's like a very high intellect sort of character. So they might have like a Reed Richards, Ray Palmer, inventor hero possibly. So they have a headquarters. That's cool. For the gadgeteer, they automatically have a headquarters. So that's going to be like our superhero lair. Yeah, the headquarters, which is good because the anyone can wear a mask game sort of asks you to define your hero's home turf and where they have their downtime and stuff. So having a headquarters sort of intrinsically as part of the character is handy. What's their natural advantage? Let's see. They're a natural leader. Okay. Natural leader. That's cool. So we'll hopefully do what they say if need be. They've also got an eidetic memory. They're an inventor. Like I say, all this stuff means something in the Mutant Masterminds game, but we're not using any of this. This is just purely for definition's sake. They've got skills in all kinds of gadgets and pickles and things. What's their other kind of skill? They're an explorer. So they're also athletic. They are perceptive. They're stealthy, so they can get around into the hard-to-reach places. They keep themselves in shape. It's not just some sciencey guy with who neglects his physical physical needs. Oh, okay. Well, in case you missed it, we're going for something a little different. The Wolverine warrior guy wasn't speaking to me, so rolled again. Got a gadgeteer instead. So far, we've got a scientist gadgeteer who's got his own headquarters. He's a natural leader and explorer. And we're going to find out what his powers are. Like, what sorts of things has he invented? Let's see. He's got an energy project device. Okay. Energy project device. Yeah. Close ranged area. Okay, well, we'll put that down. We've got some kind of key that can blast at things. Okay, and his defensive powers. What kind of thing does he have for defense? It's like a displacer field. Okay, so he can kind of like blur himself a little bit to avoid harm. Okay. And he's got some kind of special movement abilities. Like, how does he get around? With a flight harness. Okay, got a flight harness. He can fly around. His top speed's like 60 miles an hour. It's not particularly fast, but he can move around. And he's got some kind of low-level innate power as well. Physically fit. Okay, so he's even when he's not flying around, he is he's still fast on his feet. Okay, well that kind of thing's a little more interesting. So he's got some kind of energy emitting device. It's got a long range stunner and fire off a lot of blasts. It's got a close range blast as well. They're sort of like Iron Man's armor, but probably like condensed into the one sort of little device. And it's got a flight harness and like a displacer field to help him sort of like phase out of reality to avoid things. So I'm kind of liking that. And he's got to have some kind of complication in his life. This one we don't roll for, but I don't know. Maybe that'll come out of something else. But for his personality, this is the game that I want to use. The anyone can wear the mask. This part it does sort of account for, and it's done by art. Naturally, any kind of role-playing game that would use playing cards as a factor, I'm in. I mean, it's my whole branding. Look right there. There's cards. So I'm gonna grab a deck of cards quickly. Am I? Right there. Okay. So the way this part of the game works is that hero has to determine like how do you when you're answering the origin story questions for a hero, you decide how powerful you are, where your powers come from, what exactly you can do, and how do you help the city. So, how powerful? I'd say with all this kind of thing, he's probably sort of halfway between like friendly neighborhood hero and gifted with great power. Those are the sort of levels. So he's probably on sort of like a city-wide level of a hero because he's got his own headquarters in the city and he's got his own flight harness and he can get around. So he's probably sort of like one of those city-wide threat level heroes. And then where the powers come from, science and technology. He's the inventor, the gadgeteer. He obviously built these things himself. What exactly he do? Well, we now determine that through all those things. He can fly. He's got his displacer field. He's got his energy projector, and he's physically fit to boot. Now we determine how do you help the city. This sort of determines like what the base personality is, and like I said, it's determined by arts. You can. I'm going to draw randomly because I don't know what kind of personality this guy's going to have. If I draw clubs, if the card I draw is clubs, then it will be the hand of the people, protecting them so they can thrive. So more of like a protector of the downtrodden kind of thing. If it's diamonds, he'll be an icon that they can look up to for inspiration. So he's more of an inspirational hero, sort of like a Superman or some kind of predicted paragon in a way. If I draw hearts, he'll be the smiling face, a friend to those who need it. So that's more like more like Spider-Man, more like the friendly neighborhood hero, the guy that can easily get along with. Or if I draw spades, then he's going to be the Dark Knight that avenges the injustice that people suffer. So that's going to be the Batman style vigilante. So yeah, I don't know what it's going to be. I'm just going to shuffle up the deck here, draw randomly, and then we'll see what kind of personality. Okay. Here's my deck of cards. I'm going to just flip over the top one, see what it is. Diamonds. So he is going to be inspirational hero. The one who is like a shining example sort of thing. And I kind of like him some kind of lofty ambitions a little bit. Makes him more heroic kind of hero. One that people want to be. Now we've got all of the now we've got all the things for this guy. Let's draw him. Let's bash out a design to this guy quickly. Because I mean, what's the point of coming up with a superhero if you don't know what he looks like? Let's draw this dude. basic frame there. So I think all of this, he's not really wearing a suit of armor. This has this energy projector. I think it can still all sort of feed into harness in some way. So you might have something on the chest, or across the shoulders that'll feed into this overall body harness some way. So it'll be sort of like some kind of high-tech backpack, probably. Have arms so he can sort of steer it using his shoulders and his arms. It won't be a full suit of armor. It'll be more like a chest plate with the back. That'll feed into maybe something in the gloves. Maybe it'll feed into the gloves, and then the gloves will be the weapon part of the energy projecting. Let's see, how do they describe it? Yeah. Maybe it'll go just on one arm. Okay. In terms of the era, I'm thinking this is closer to the Silver Age sort of thing. So like the 1950s, the 1960s. It's when all the weird kind of technology started turning up in comics, where everything was very Kirby-esque and it was like all chrome and weird-looking devices. So I wouldn't mind like having a bit of that weird design in it, but still keeping it sort of semi-plausible. So if I have from Asian armor, I don't know, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Because I think to start, he's gonna have like a thing on his arm. It's gonna be the main energy project. I think it's all gonna like link into his chest plate. That'll have sort of like a thing in the middle, but like Iron Man, that's gonna be the of like the Omni Beam, a little bit fist blaster kind of thing. And like the harness could probably have like stabilizer fins, like that'll look a bit like wings. They look a little bit like the beetle. I won't give him a beetle helmet, but the beetle has sort of had these kind of wings. And they don't have to make like 100% sense. If we're going Silver Age here, they can look weird and wacky and kinds of weird, kinds of odd looking shapes and things on them. Some energy turbine thing in there. Kind of like the activation thing will be on his belt. It's not a utility belt, but it's got probably like the activator that's for the flight harness. Probably got some UHD on the side of the energy projector over there as well. This guy is not going to be the most super of superheroes, as it were. You're going to have to get by on his intuition and his natural abilities quite a lot, but it's going to be somewhat helped along by this energy projecting harness that he's got. Other than that, he's just a really fit, really smart guy. Which is cool. Good thing that we don't have a hero that's too powerful, but he's still got some interesting ideas behind him. And because he's a smart guy, he's got his intellect in there as well. Very much a bit of a like a bit of a sci-fi pulp character in a way. Those characters didn't have a lot of powers. They sometimes had cool gadgets to go with them. Kind of probably wearing a jumpsuit of some kind. It's flying. Yeah, it's always tempting to go for overpowered characters. The temptation is real. But I don't know. I'm a sucker for. I'm kind of a sucker for guys who have to work at it a little bit. It's one of the arguments as to why people are always saying why Superman is such a difficult character to write for. It's like Superman, you can do just about anything, so it's just an incredibly uninteresting character to write for. And while there may be a grain of truth to that, I would say, no, you just don't know how to write Superman. Because Superman isn't defined by his powers, he's defined by his humanity. Even though he's not a human, he identifies with humanity. That's his whole deal. If people say they don't. If people say Superman's a hard character to write for, it just means they're having trouble with character, because it's what Superman comics should be about: is character, not the powers. That being said, you get some stupidly overpowered characters, and they are completely uninteresting. You really have, when you have an overpowered character, you've got to make it a character-based story, because it cannot be based around the powers anyway. I prefer character-based storytelling, because while it can be interesting in terms of writing about powers, while that can be interesting to have an overpowered character, if it's not done right, that overpowered character will have no character. That's what will make them uninteresting. That's why I find it easier to have a lower powered character, because then it is a bit more obvious to an OP manhwa to read where the character is simply the best. Again, like I say, I'm not saying it can't be done. It just takes a lot of time and effort. Solo leveling, well, that already sounds like it might be right up my street. I'll check it out when I get a chance. Make a note of that somewhere. Right, solo leveling. I'll give it a look. But yeah, but like I was saying, that's why I prefer a lower powered character, because then, while character is still, it's still tantamount. Well, I believe like you doing it, you have to do character properly no matter what. It comes across as a little easier, because they are a little more down to earth, and they are a little more closer to a normal human. Makes them a little more identifiable in an easier way, which is why I think is why slice of life comics tend to do so well. It's because they're relatable. So while it is not impossible to make overpowered character relatable, it's often a lot easier to make a lower powered character relatable, because they are more likely to get beaten. They are more likely to have things go wrong for them. They're not going to solve everything with the snap of their fingers. Let's give this guy, he's probably going to have flying goggles of some kind, or a visor, maybe. He's flying around. I don't think we'll really give him a mask per se. He probably wears just like some headgear because he is flying. But as far as this guy goes, I don't think he even has a secret identity. I think he's one of these sort of like celebrity heroes. People might know who he is. I was drawing parallels with the Fantastic Four earlier. He's like a Reed Richards character. People know who Reed Richards is. They know he's a highly respected scientist as well as a member of the Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four don't have secret identities. Maybe this guy doesn't either. Maybe he is just well known enough for his inventions that he doesn't really need secret identity. And he's sort of just like a private citizen. Contractor. This guy looks like he's sort of got elements of. There was a bit of Reed Richards in there. Got a bit of Kid Cord, the Blue Beetle. Got the Beetle from Marvel. A little bit of all these characters together, and we've got this guy. Not sure what we'll call this. He's going to be the main character for my playthrough of Anyone Can Wear the Mask. And like I say, I'll probably do that in my own time. I won't do it on a stream because it'll probably go on for too long. Also, I'm going to be on holiday for a couple of weeks now. Probably not going to want to do anything. Going to be house sitting, looking after animals. Probably not going to be. I'm probably not going to be streaming until after the new year again. Maybe I'll stream tomorrow, maybe on the weekend, but certainly not after Saturday. I just don't have the time to actually do a playthrough of this game, but it'll be part of my early lineup for New Year. Headgear, suit there. Yeah, he's one of the old school heroes. Because I'm sort of thinking, if this game turns out well, if I end up playing this and turns out to be a good playthrough, I might include it in the canon for my my mainline comic series. Because one of the ideas I have for my comic series is that comics that I'm drawing currently with Isis and Kinetica and Splits, they're all part of modern era of the city where it takes place, in Apex City, it's called. Origin story, in a way. But like I say, the ones I'm drawing right now are part of the modern era. And I sort of have like a vision of before that there was the Bronze Age or the Dark Age of comics, in a way, and it's going to have like a whole separate side series about the dark times of Apex City, what they called the Nadir era. But obviously, before there was a Nadir, it had to have been built up before that. So then it would sink into the Nadir and then rise again into the modern era, which I'm calling the Zenith era. So, the main plot line of Apex City is going to be in the Zenith. Before that came the Nadir. There had to have been a time before that, and that's where I think this guy comes from the early days of Apex City, when heroes were a new thing, and this guy was probably one of the first. There's probably something terribly tragic happened to him that plunged the city into the Nadir at some point, but we're not going to get into that. This guy probably had a long and storied career before that happened, and that's what the playthrough is going to be. It's going to find out like what this guy was up to, the people he saved, the people he went up against, as part of the early days of heroes in Apex City. And that's only if the playthrough turns out to be entertaining. I mean, if it's boring, and I don't think it'll be because the game looks like a lot of fun. If it's boring, I'll probably tweak a lot of it. But knock on wood, it turns out well, and I can include lots of elements from the game into it. it's something I've been wanting to try a lot, is to take these single player RPG experiences and and make fiction around them, because they are so modular and they have a lot of different layers to them, and because they're so randomized, different things can happen and you can have a different story every time. So, like, why not turn it into a proper piece of fiction? One of the things I like about solo roleplay is that you can literally write your own story. It's just another method of constructing a narrative. At least I like to think so. And I did do that once already. I did a 12-page zine for Halloween based on an RPG called The Wretched, and I actually reached out to the creator of the game and asked him, "Hey, I see like a lot of people are making like hacks of your game, like doing their own spins on it, making their own games based on it. Would it be cool if I published a piece of fiction based on it?" And he said that sounded cool, so I went ahead with it. It didn't sell as much as I'd hoped for. It was like a little Halloween special thing that I did. It's up on my itch.io page for like a pay-as-you-want kind of deal, and I was selling it for like $20,000 at the Halloween market. But, it was a lot of fun to do, even if it didn't sell. I was very proud of how it turned out, and that's something I've been having to remind myself a lot lately, is that even if I create things that don't sell, as long as I'm proud of them and I like the way they turned out, then they weren't a waste of time. Because then I've still got something that I felt was worthwhile, and I can look back on it and say I'm proud that I did that. And I am very proud of that Halloween zine. I thought it turned out quite well. Yep, marketing is exceptionally, because you often have to pay money that you don't have to market it. I do not have the cash needed to boost Facebook. I just don't have it in. That's okay. Starting small. It's just an ongoing process. Start small with stuff like this, a little bit of promotion out there, keep pushing it, and maybe eventually one day it becomes something more. We'll see. That's actually another thing that I want to do next year. One of my New Year's resolutions is I want to post something on social media every single day. If it's only one post on one form of social media, I will post something, like whether that is a YouTube video, an Instagram picture, a tweet, a Facebook post, something. I don't know what it will be exactly, and I used to do that. I did do that once for a while. I can't remember what year it was. It could have been. It was either 2013 or 2014. It could have been 2013, I think. I can't remember exactly. I kept that up for a good 5 months at one point. I was posting every single day. Sometimes it wasn't much. It might have just been like a random thought or something. But then, let's not go any further with that. It was 2015. I was in Cape Town when I was doing. I'd just come to Cape Town. It must have been 2015. Still, yeah, it was. It worked for a while, but then I sort of grew disheartened with the whole thing. But doesn't matter. I can try again, and I think I stand a better chance this time. especially like this, because I'd say streaming would count as a significant post, significant social media post of some kind. So I do want to keep streaming. I would love to do daily streams, sure, if I can. If that'll all depend on my other things on the schedule. And there's going to be a week in January and a week in March when I'm not going to be streaming because I'll be on vacation. It's something to work at. It's a goal I can work at and try and increase my social media presence. Also, something that I've already started to make in steps towards. I'm stopped following, trying to not follow as many people on social media. Try and gain more followers rather than following a lot of people myself. Because while it's great, like I'll follow people who follow me back, but I think if I'm following someone and they're not following me back, it might be worth just not doing that. Because I mean, if their content is good and I like it, then I will follow regardless. But it's the overwhelming amount of stuff that comes in from social media. If I want to use it as a business account, then it's just I have to stop following so many people. Like already, I went through a YouTube subscription. I've got two YouTube accounts, one for my personal use and one for my streams and things like this. And while my personal one I left alone, I went to my streaming one. And I basically unfollowed like over 100 people, and 90% of them hadn't posted anything in months or years even. So I just thought it's not worth following them anymore. And certain other people, it's like, okay, I'm following them, but I never watch their videos, so why bother? And like my subscription feed suddenly dropped down to like 7 videos a day, compared to the 2 dozen or so that were coming through. And I already felt like a sense of like pressure being relieved in some ways. It's like, okay, I'm not now obligated to watch all of these videos, and it's less noise on my timeline. It's less distractions. So it's like, okay, now that I know that I'm not going to get so many things on my subscription feed, I don't have to relentlessly checking YouTube for things that may or may not happen. On the other hand, I did follow a bunch of different people. Again, it's not because they follow me back, it's because they actually do genuinely good stuff that I'm interested in. So it's all stuff like some art accounts, some animation accounts, some RPG accounts and things like that. All that generally only post like once every month or so. But that's fine, because I now know, okay, this is a bunch of people who don't post too often, but they are posting stuff that is relevant to my interests. And I've cleared up my subscription significantly because of it. I don't know if I'm making sense. I'm just rambling along here. Basically, it's just to try and off social media while still maintaining a decent presence there. It's finding that balance. Like I want to post every single day, but I can't afford to be browsing it for like 5 hours a day. It's just time wasting. obligation and interest. It's like, if I know this person, yes, and I like their stuff, okay, I'm gonna follow them. Otherwise, it's got to be relevant to my interests and something I can reference from and use in my own artistic journey. In the ways that I can express myself, or something like that. Like if they're not someone that I respect, or they can't give me any sort of like relevant irrelevant content that can apply to my interests or visualization, it's probably not worth following. And no offense to anyone who's like genuinely talented. Like, hell, I know I really appeal to anyone at the moment, so take the good with the bad. People are under no obligation to follow me either. But if it's things I'm interested in, like if I'm following an animator and I like the way they animated something, or they brought up a good topic for something that can be animated, like, yeah, cool. That's worth following along. I can learn from this. Exactly. Like, if you're not interested in cosplay, then you're not going to get much entertainment out of it, and it's probably a waste of time for you. But if you're a cosplayer and you see stuff like yours, which is awesome, it's like, okay, cool, that is relevant. I can learn from this. I'm really interested. I want to learn more. That's what social media should be about. It's about communities. It's about learning together, about growing together. That's what should be. And another thing that I want to do next year, sort of in relation to that, is I really, really need to get my personal website updated. I'm paying for the domain name, but I'm not really using the site at the moment because I don't really like the format. I want to be able to host my comics on it, and it's not really built for that. So I really need to get the site revamped in an affordable way that is, again, relevant to my interests. Because I used to do weekly blogs on my site. I used to post sketches and things like that for my big depressive phase, and I used to have a lot of fun with it. But because I didn't have any kind of fallback at the time, I wasn't employed, it seemed like a fruitless exercise because it wasn't getting me. And I didn't have anything else to do. But now that I do have some form of income, and I can afford to mess around online in my off time because I am earning a bit of money, I'd like to start that up again, and not sort of pin all my hopes on it, and I'm disappointed when it doesn't work. Because even if I do it again now, I'm going to fully accept that it may not work. It's not going to be that state of panic like it was before. It's going to be something I can work on in my spare time. Panic and guilt. Yep. Panic and guilt. That totally describes my existence throughout my 20s. Like I say, I want to start it up again. I want to start doing blogs. I want to do more writing. I want to do my comics. I want to have somewhere like my own sort of central database of me on the internet. But I want my personal site. People can come. They can see my comics. They can read my writing. Check out my vlogs. They can check out my links to my live streams. Basically, a portfolio site that expanded. Like, it's not just my portfolio there, it's my stuff. Not just what I can do, but what I've also done. Well, I've just about nailed down the design of this guy. Still don't have a name for it. Like I said, he probably doesn't have a secret identity. Probably got some kind of code name. I mean, even Reed Richards calls himself Mr. Fantastic. So there's got to be some kind of superhero code name. Shiny boots. Shiny boots. Loves a problem. There we go. Rubber gloves and boots. Okay. There we go. This is our proto-hero, as it were. It's going to be one of the early generation of Apex City, and will be the primary character of our playthrough of Anyone Can Wear the Mask, which I will probably record, if not late this month, then early next month, and I may release the videos for it while I'm away at on vacation in January. Because there's going to be a whole week when I'm not going to be here and I'm not going to be streaming or posting or anything. So maybe I'll record the videos before then, and I'll schedule the uploads for while I'm away, so that I'll have something going on while I'm not actively streaming or viewing. So, yeah. So this is our hero. Got his flight harness, he's got his energy projector, it generates from the chest, so he can fly, he's physically fit, he's got the displacer field that like sync him out of reality. bit blur. Yeah. Try and give him that little classic Silver Age look. But now he needs a name. And like I say, I don't think he's got a secret identity per se, but he's probably got some kind of code name. I think it's got to be like Professor something. Like the kind of guy who would he probably has like several PhDs or doctorates or something. Probably call him Professor something. First thought was Professor Proton, but this is the Big Bang Theory. Although I could see this guy being played by Will Wheaton. I don't know. Professor something. What does he do with energy? I'm going to look up synonyms for energy. Wonderful things, thesaurus.com. Let's have a look. That's not a bad idea. I'm just going to see if this name exists anywhere. 1 second. Yeah, I figured that name was already taken. Okay, never mind. Oh, geez, he even looks a bit like mine. I was just thinking maybe I could call this guy Professor Power, but nope, that is already a character. And he, I don't want to say he looks like this character. He does have a bit of a. I mean, he's a supervillain. They will have their own. Will have looks that are reasonably generic. He is Professor Power is already taken, so that's not going to be him. Yeah, I don't want to say he was. I don't want to say he's almost exactly like my character here. He's got a flying suit. He has an electron beam and things like that. Difference is he's a supervillain. So and our guy is a hero. So we're not gonna worry too much. I mean, like there's no original superpower under the sun. There was probably gonna be a guy like this in. There's probably 5 different characters on every street corner that have the same sort of power. So let's keep looking here. Ooh, that's an idea. Let me see if this character exists. Okay, there is a guy called this, but he's not real. He's a real guy. Okay, used to have that name. Although whether or not he's actually well respected. Let's see if this exists. It was always the hardest part of any kind of RPG is naming your characters. Okay, nope, it's taken 2. Feel a character generator? Please, any character generator can only do so much. Okay, well, this one doesn't seem to be. Well, that does kind of sound pretty stupid. But no, okay, that sounds. Okay, this is the working title for him, but I'm kind of liking this. How about Professor Megawatt? That's sort of where I've come to for now. What do you think? Megawatt? Professor Megawatt? I would have. My first thought is a bit corny, but you got to remember this. You got to remember the Silver Age was the height of corny um, when it comes to superheroes and things. So I think he'd fit right in, quite honestly. If he was if he was a Bronze Age hero, I would have called him Professor Kilowatt, and I would have done it with two L's. But, I mean, I know it's corny, but like I say, I think for the era that he's meant to be from, it might be kind of appropriate. And again, the whole thing about superheroes is like it's meant to be fun, meant to be silly. I mean, they can't talk about serious issues and things, but you have fun with it. Like I say, it's a working title. We'll note that as a possibility. Professor Megawatt. See what else we can. If there's anything that's equally equally relevant but not quite as corny. Let's see. I liked Professor Dynamo. Like that was my first choice was Professor Dynamo, but I think there's already. I googled it. Apparently, there is a guy in real life that calls himself Professor Dynamo. And I don't want to infringe on any copyright potential copyright violations. Who is this guy anyway? Well, okay, last time he updated his Facebook cover photo was in 2013, so I don't know how relevant this guy is anymore. He's got 24 likes on his page and he's got 23 people following. So how popular can he actually be? Okay, you know what? How about Professor Dynamo? That sound a bit better? Dynamo as opposed to Megawatt. I know in Marvel you had the Crimson Dynamo. He was a Russian scientist. But I'd say, like, in terms of comic characters, you don't have too many people called Dynamo. So, Professor Dynamo? Thoughts? Yeah. Yeah, I kind of like it. Like I say, the so-called public figure Professor Dynamo has a lower Facebook following than me and hasn't updated his cover photo in nearly 8 years, so I think I can safely get away with it without potentially infringing on his copyright. So, this shall be our hero. Here we are. Professor Dynamo shall be antagonist of Anyone Can Wear the Mask, and one of the first proto-heroes of Apex City. So yeah, there we go. That'll do for him. I do actually already have like a whole bunch of other random heroes that I rolled up using that mutant mastermind character data. So I didn't want to use any of them for the playthrough because I've got potential plans for them. So I figured, okay, let's be spontaneous and just roll up a new one. I did have a few there that I quite liked. They'll probably turn up in the mainstream comic series. They might turn up in the Nadir area. They may turn up in the Zenith era. We'll see. I think there was one of the ones I rolled up. One of the martial artist archetypes. When you roll up a martial artist using those tables, you can get like a mythical martial artist, and they have a fighting style and a particular element that they go through. This is a little bit. So the martial artist I rolled up used water as an element and had the snake fighting style. So I called her Anaconda, and I thought she was pretty cool. He had a few mythic martial artist powers. And I rolled up. I think I rolled up a different character for each one of the 20 archetypes. And I haven't drawn all of them yet. Some of them are a bit too generic, and some of them I want to use for other projects. But some of them might also turn up in the mainstream Apex City comic series. I'm going to give my wrist a chance to breathe here for a sec. So, yeah. Like I said, I'm very keen to play this game, especially now that I have a character established. And the interesting thing about it is that it's so completely random. It's something you sort of make up on the fly, but it's determined by cards. There was a reason that I used a card draw to determine Professor Dynamo's personality. And because when you draw cards in the game, different things happen. It's how well equipped you are to deal with these things that happen, these threats that come about. The card draw is determined by the suit of the card. So I drew Diamond for Professor Dynamo. So when I do my playthrough with him, every time a diamond threat comes up, when I draw a card and it's a diamond, then he will be more well qualified to deal with it, and he'll have an advantage when threat. And he'll be okay with hearts, because hearts are also the same color. They're red cards, so he'll have some familiarity with that. But if it's clubs or spades, then he's going to be in a bit of trouble, because those are unfamiliar threats to him. They're outside his usual jurisdiction, and that's how the game determines that. So I like that it's so random like that, because there are literally there are more different combinations there are more different ways that you can stack a deck of cards than there are molecules in the universe. So it makes for some truly randomized stuff. Hi, Mom. Oh yeah, that's what I'm gonna do with the character. So I suppose I've still got some time left here. I've only been here, what, hour and a half? Yeah, what else can we do? I want to really get started on the next comic page, because if I start it now, I'm not going to finish it by the time I'm done streaming. So I'll probably do something smaller to carry on for now. I don't know. Maybe I'll draw one of the other heroes that I randomly rolled up. One of the ones I haven't done yet. Let's see. Pull up Google Doc here. Maybe I'll do that one. Why not? But to be honest, if I draw that one, I've got much of a preconceived idea in my head. Oh, well. So I'd kind of been hoping that other one would have taken longer to do. I'm actually rather tired. For whatever reason. I didn't get enough sleep yesterday. I was home all day. Okay, let's see if I can draw this one that I found here. And I'm going to try and do it without just straight up drawing a female Doctor Strange. Because it's just something that keeps popping into my head whenever I try to picture this character. It's just straight up Doctor Strange. Let's see if I can do something that's not too much of a ripple for me. Let's go. I didn't have a name for this character, but I think she's definitely going to be a part of the current continuity in my comic, because I've got a younger hero character with magical powers, and they're going to need a mentor of some kind, or at least someone knowledgeable about magic and city. Ooh, excuse me. And yeah, this mistress of magic, this mystic, she will likely be their confidant in some kind. Will help them out. Try not to get too life-felt. Well, thank you for lurking. Now, again, do I indulge stereotype and go with a strange knockoff? Because the collared cloak is calling me. Well, she's definitely going to have a cape. Go for that star. Whether or not it'll have a big collar, I'll decide. Not going 100% Todd McFarlane on the cape, but doing something with it. A bit bombastic. Dealing with a mistress of the Miss Park. Her cape, glowing darkness. Glove. I'd like to push the shoulder cape. I thought it's like rather visually appealing. We're not going to go for a plunging V-line or anything. Maybe a bare shoulders look. Maybe a bare back, but we're not going to see the bare back because the cape is in the way. Closer to Raven from like, this kind of thing. We'll give her longer hair, flow free. listed her as an enchanter, so she can create. Got a few. That one, cool. Again. Bit of self-indulgence here. Bit of a sucker for the thigh-high boots, guitars. I mean, heck, it worked for The Incredibles. Why not? Nice. Who says that was an all one piece? That could very well not be exposed skin. We'll make it shorter. Not go here. This is Mistress of the Mystical Arts. I don't have a name for her yet either. She's got tons of psychic powers. She can summon constructs. She can break darkness. She can conjure phantasms. Spell other magic. Enhance her strength with magic. Alien. Getting up some of these pencils a bit. And then I might call it there. I don't know why I'm feeling very tired. Okay, there we go. That's about gonna do it for her. Still don't have a name for her. It's Mistress of the Mystic Arts. She's gonna mentor to one of my other magical characters. Her characters. Upcoming thing. But yeah, I think we're gonna have a shorter stream today. I don't know, feeling kind of tired. I just want to go and lie down or lie back on the couch for a bit. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna leave it there. So we'll do it to quickly recap the stream. We did some character design. This is one of my characters for later in my comic series. She's going to be the mentor to the main mystical character. And we're going to put that on. There we go. And then I designed a character for my future playthrough of Anyone Wear the Mask, which is a solo tabletop RPG based around superheroes, or a single superhero at least. And this is going to be the character I play in that game. I'll give more details about that when I actually do it. I'll be playing as Professor Dynamo. Excuse me. And yeah, he'll be the character for that. I'll explain the details of the game when I actually play it. I'll probably do that off stream. I'll record a video for it and upload that sometime in January. Probably while I'm on vacation. I'll schedule it for when I'm on vacation. So yeah, just a short stream today. A couple of characters, nothing too fancy. I might stream again over the weekend. I don't know, but if I don't, then my next stream will be in the new year. But keep an eye on my socials. I'll still be posting a few things here and there. So yeah, I'll have a good night, everybody, and see you in the next one.